Hello and welcome to the instruction video of the budget by paycheck, the monthly and the annual budget. When you first purchase the item, you'll receive a download link to download the PDF file. When you open the PDF file, this is what it's going to look like. And all you have to do to access the Google spreadsheet is click here, access your Google Sheet template here. Once you click, a spreadsheet is going to open. It's going to look like this. Here you have 15 tabs. You have an instructions tab, which has all of the instructions contained in the video, perhaps even more. And it explains all the steps very clearly. Notice how cells where you can enter information are in white, and cells that contain formulas have a light gray background. This way, it's very easy to see where you can enter your information and where you should not enter any information. I have also included an example tab, which is already been filled in for you, and it shows you what the spreadsheet would look like for each month after you have completed it. Then here you have the 12 tabs, one tab for each month, have already been laid out for you. And all of these tabs are linked, and the sums of all the information that you enter is going to be summed into the annual tab. So when you first open the spreadsheet, this is what it looks like. And that's totally fine. These will get populated once you enter in your data. Now here I have a spreadsheet that is the same, but it's already been filled in. So I'm going to show you what the annual tab is going to look after you begin to fill in the monthly tabs. So in the annual tab, you have a total of your income annual, which is based on all the actual income that you receive through each of the 12 months. The same goes for savings, bills, expenses, and debt. You have visual charts that help you to see your numbers visually. And here is a summary of all of the tabs. It includes the annual category overview. So for all the 12 months, you have your income budget, or that is how much you anticipate your income will be for that particular month. And this is the actual, based on how much you actually receive. Same goes for savings, budgeted savings, actual savings, budgeted bills, actual bills, budgeted expenses, actual expenses, budgeted debt, and actual debt. You have a debt overview. So this is a summary breakdown of all of your debt for each one of the months. And this is also very useful to have because it shows you how much interest you have paid for the whole year and how much interest you pay, for example, every month. This is your annual bills totals. You have an annual bills total breakdown. So this breaks down all your bills, and it also shows your visual for the whole year. And an annual expenses totals. So here you can actually see how much you've spent, for example, on clothes for the whole year, how much you've spent for eating out for the whole year, how much you've spent on, let's say, books, coffee, or whatever. So these are the expense categories that you have created in each of your months. Then you have the annual expenses total breakdown. So this is just a visual representation of this information. And annual savings total, and again, visual representation. And just as a reminder, if, for example, you can always hide these these rows, if you find that you're not using them. You can always hide them, and this will make it this will make the spreadsheet to appear a lot more compact. Now let's go here to one of the monthly tabs, and I'm just quickly going to show you how this is set up. So here you have visual graphs that's showing you how much is left to budget, how much is left to spend, your actual spending breakdown, and your budgeted versus actual, showing the income, bills, expenses, debt, and savings. The cells that are in light gray contain formulas, and these are going to be summaries of the other information that you have already put into the spreadsheet. The bills, expenses, and debt are set up over here. Then here you have your income, which is where you're going to put in how much is your budgeted income. And the actuals, all the actuals are done in one transactions area. I was quickly going to scroll down and show you. So here you have the transactions. So any financial transaction that happens during the month, you're going to log it here, including your income. Because it's a transaction, you receive money. So your income, bills, expenses, and savings, all of that, you have to log it in the transactions tab. And then the spreadsheet is going to take the information that you put here, and it's going to populate the rest of the spreadsheet. So for example, when you log in how much income you received, it's going to populate these actual numbers over here. For example, when you log in your bills, let's say you paid 500 in bills, it's going to populate all of the actuals over here, and then you can look and see how that compares to your budgeted amounts. The same goes for example, for expenses. Let's say $75 expenses of clothes. Then you can come over here and see. For example, in this case, you budgeted less per month for clothes, but you spent more. So it's going to show you in brackets, meaning that that's a negative number, how much is left to spend. So here it's showing you that you're $25 over your budget for this particular month. So, for example, the savings, again, every time you put money in your savings account, it's a transaction. So you log it here. And then here is you write in your savings. So you're going to set up jars, or you're going to give names here. And then when you make a transaction, it's going to show over here under actual. And the same goes for debt. So when you pay, for example, your credit card, it's going to show here under debt. So for example, you paid a credit card of this much, and it's going to show here automatically under the grade areas. Now, one thing I need to say is that all of these drop-down categories, for example, under income, if you select income over here, immediately you have a drop-down menu. Now, this drop-down menu is depending on this category, meaning that only the types of income that you have already set are going to become available as a drop-down menu when you select this category. And the way that you set up your dependent drop-down menus are by filling in this category here. So for example, under income, if you have, for example, you have a salary, you have YouTube, let's say that you also have rental income of $850. Now, if I come over here, you see that this now becomes as a drop-down option based on the income. So same goes for all the other categories. Let's say, for example, bills. If we come here under bills, so you have the minimum payment credit cards, because this is a bill you have to pay it every month. Then, for example, you have mortgage, food, heat. Whatever I can still add in these cells is going to become a drop-down menu option in the Transactions tab. The same goes for the expenses. Notice how this is in white color. However, for the category of debt, you don't type it in this place because you have another area that is more detailed for debt. So in this case, you're going to put this over here. So let's do an example. So notice how in this here is a gray background, and here we only have three, CIBC, Costco, Amazon, MBNA, and National Bank. Now let's add another one. We're going to add this over here. Let's say line of credit. So when I come over here, you see that it populated, it added one more over here, line of credit. And if I want to say a budget for how much is the line of credit, I'm going to do this here. So the budget for the line of credit, I can set it to be the minimum payment. And you can also write here what's your total balance owing, how much is due of that, and the rest of your details if you wish. Okay, so that's how you populate this. And again, when you make a transaction, you can now see that the line of credit has been added to the drop-down menu option. Now the same goes for savings. Here is where you set up your money jars. So for example, you have car renovation, vacation, and let's say bathroom renovation. Let's say that you budget $2,000 for a bathroom renovation. Now here you have an overview of your savings. So for example, notice how here at the moment, this is our budget, but we don't have any actual savings yet. Now if we go to the Transactions tab and select Savings, notice how bathroom renovation has been added to the drop-down menu option. And you see how for this particular month, the actuals also got updated over here. So it shows your total saved and left to save. If you have a carryover amount, so that's the amount from last month, you can write it here. In this case, it's January, so we don't have any carryover. Let's say we have $100 of carryover. So now the total saved is $450. Now these tabs have been linked, which is why we've added all of them here. And now one thing to note is that, for example, the savings, because we don't know how much savings you're going to save every month, you're going to take your total saved becomes the carryover for the following month. So what you're going to do, let's say today's allowance for January, you're going to take this number, you can right click and say copy. This is your total saved, let's say at the end of January. And then when you come here to February, you have to add the name of your new saving bucket. And you're going to write a carryover. You're going to say pay special, value only. And let's also make sure that you copy the same text for each of your money jars. And you're going to paste that over here. Okay. Unfortunately, there isn't a better way to have it set up. So there will be some manual work for you to do. This is the only way that it can be set up so that you get the annual tab. If you're looking for a simpler spreadsheet where you can set up all of your categories once and then you can duplicate it and rename it, then there is the simple monthly by budget paycheck, which is very simple, similar to this one, but it only has one tab per month and it has no annual total. But if you're looking to have the annual total, you will have to add in your subcategories manually to each of the 12 months. And you see how all the graphs update automatically. And here it shows you the breakdown of all of your categories. So for example, you can put your start balance over here and it gets automatically copied over here. Then you have your income. So in this case, for example, you budgeted to have this much coming in during the month of January, but you only have this much coming in. You budgeted to put away this much in savings, but you have only this much put away. Then you have your budgeted bills versus your actual bills, your budgeted debt versus your actual debt. And here it shows you, as per your budget, if you are coming under or over. Okay, so this is a quick overview and instructions on how to use the budget by paycheck, including the annual tab. And I'm quickly going to mention that when you first begin to use it, what you're going to do is after you set up the bills in the first month, when you begin using the spreadsheet, you can simply select your cells like this, right click, copy them, and then go into the month of February. And you're going to, let's say that this isn't already done for you. You're going to come here, right click, you're going to paste special and say values only. And you have to do this for each of the categories where you need to set up the dependent drop-down menu options. So you'll do this for the expenses for each of your 12 tabs. And then you will also do the same for the savings. So you'll select your right-click copy and then paste into all of the months as a value only. And also for the debt breakdown. So all the names of your credit cards, you have to select them and then copy them into all of the months. And then again, where you have formula, it's in gray, and this makes it really easy to know where to type in and where not to type in information. I hope this has been useful and helpful. Let me know in the comments below, and if you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with me either via my Etsy shop or through the contact form on my website. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.